Skin cancer, or melanoma, is one of the most rapidly increasing forms of cancer in the UK, with almost 6,000 new cases each year. Scientists blame the rise on foreign summer holidays, combined with poor use of sunscreen. And now scientists at the University of Leicester are working on developing a new blood test to identify those at high risk of aggressive forms of melanoma.
We're going to be identifying patients who've already got melanoma. At the moment, we try and predict their outcome by measuring how deeply the melanoma is invaded into the skin. So we're going to take patients with fairly thick melanomas who have high risk already of developing further spread. Then we're going to do a blood test on them, and we're going to be measuring certain things in the blood and trying to identify those patients who are at most risk to try and fine-tune the way we already predict outcome.
The aim is to develop the test using two different groups of patients. It involves measuring samples to see whether scientists can distinguish one set of patients where the disease has spread from those where it has not.
We're going to take a couple of groups of melanoma patients. One group will have already developed spread of their disease, another group won't, and we'll be measuring the blood of both of those two groups, and we'll be comparing what we find, and the things that are different could potentially be the basis of a future test for those patients.
This will allow researchers to provide evidence that the blood they're testing, using microanalysis, could be the basis of further developments and be used alongside other methods to predict either the spread of melanomas or survival of it.
The actual molecules we'll be looking for, these are called microRNAs. MicroRNAs are encoded by a gene, but they're unusual in that they don't make proteins, which is what most things encoded by genes do. These play a role in regulating genes, and essentially these microRNAs, there's about 600 of them, and in our assay we can measure all of them in one go, and we'll be looking at which of those 600 or so are different between the two groups. They actually have arisen from within the tumour and have leaked into the blood, so they've arisen from the tumour, and that's why they may be informative.
For the medical community and patients, it will show those that are at most risk of the melanoma spreading.
It's the sixth most common. Hopefully, if the test is successful, is to be able to identify those patients who have the highest risk of spread. That'll be good for patients because it's better for them to be able to plan both socially and also better informed when they're discussing treatment with their clinicians. And from a clinician's perspective, it's good because it allows them to be able to better plan treatment, perhaps target treatment to those at higher risk of developing spread of tumour, and perhaps avoiding treatment in those who have lower risk.
With skin cancer and melanoma on the increase, it's hoped the work at Leicester, if successful, will mean doctors know more about how melanomas behave and ensure cancer patients will be better informed.